Welcome to another 10 at 10 for 10 training and leadership development. Today, I want to talk to everyone about the need for communication. I know we're so excited about the AI, but the one thing I'm thinking about that people might misunderstand, because with the AI coming in, well, everything's going to be automated. I don't have to do anything. The reality is, it doesn't work like that in the real world. So even with automation, you can expect that you're going to have to be communicating with your team. What the automation with AI will do for you is it's going to basically take care of the front end of the process of basically building the team, and that being finding people that are going to be interested in our offer, taking them through a course, through some automation so that they can actually understand the offer, well enough to make a decision to be either in or out, and then process them through our onboarding process, which takes about 3 days, and then they're in. But some of you might be thinking, yeah, hey, job done. No, 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 no. Far, far from it. Okay. Please do not look at it that way, because if you really understand full funding as it is designed, you'll understand that it is meant to bring people together to talk to each other, right? Um, Steve Thompson,
Yes,
okay. Wouldn't you agree that we need to talk to each other? You've been with us now since what, February, or was it January?
yeah, about 4.5 months.
Yes, you've been with us for a while, and you've seen people come and go, and you've seen people stay, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
wouldn't you agree that the number one thing why a person either comes and goes or stays is whether someone was talking to them or not? Wouldn't you agree?
That's correct.
Okay. So we don't want to create this revolving door situation where people join, they're excited, they come into their first little trial or their first little bump in the road. Those are going to happen regardless, right? And then they're like, oh, maybe this isn't for me, and then they leave, right? And see, that's what happens if we don't talk to people. Okay. And so we've got a hand up from Garfield. Is that by accident, or was that because you actually have a question regarding what I'm talking about? Sometimes people accidentally bump things on their phone. You can unmute if you'd like to
Oh,
add.
I'm sorry. That's an accident.
Okay, I thought so. But hey, if you want to join into the conversation, no problem. You could just unmute and say something. But if not, you can also raise your hand like you did there to get my attention. That works. You see, it works, right? And so, what are we going to talk about when we communicate? Okay, when I talk about communication, let's just take a trip into the future for a minute. Let's talk about your future. Okay. So when I say your future, right now I'm looking at Michael Dages. So let's talk about Michael Dages' future. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm looking at Susie Erickson. Let's talk about Susie Erickson's future. I could go on and on with each of you like that, right? But I'm talking about your future, all of you that are here. And for those that are watching on YouTube, I'll also talk about your future here in pool funding. Okay. In the future, let's just say you got 4 people that are sending you $1,000 every day. Okay. Every day they send it to you, and they're sending it as a matter of like they're beating a timer. That timer is ruthless. Would you guys agree the timer is ruthless? Right?
Yep.
If you're off by 1 second, you're going to pay the penalty, right?
Absolutely.
It doesn't give you much room to breathe, but you do have 4.5 hours to click a few buttons, so it's not a terrible master. You know what I'm saying?
It absolutely won't stop.
But it will go it will go to 0 if you let it. Okay, it will. And when it hits 0, there's a consequence, and you can't. But see, with that being the case, they're going to send that $1,000. But can we also agree, $1,000 is a lot of money, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, and if you're doing it every day, You're like, that's a lot of money every day, right? And so look, if we're not talking to someone sending $1,000 every day and making them, understand that they're part of something that's benefiting them, so they should be also receiving thousands of dollars, right? Or it shouldn't take long before it to get to that point. That's the whole idea. As people jump into that $1,000 pool, they're usually bringing two people with them at the moment they get in, and those two people have people lined up right away to also be coming in, and is usually an operating budget at that level. But you would have never arrived in the $1,000 pool making that happen if you didn't actually communicate along the way with people. As you were as you were going from the $10 pool to the $100 pool up to the $1,000, you would have never arrived to the $1,000 pool situation. We got people sending you $1,000 every day if you didn't have that line of communication already moving and working. Okay, there's no automation when it comes to that. And so what do you talk about? Well, let me tell you something. If someone's going to give you $1,000 every day, right? I think they're going to want to feel like you might care about them. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yep.
if you don't care about somebody and then you think the system is going to make them pay you $1,000 every day, they have options too. Okay, so let's put it that way, because you got to care. That's where it starts, and that means you got to care about their life. You got to care about their family. You got to care about where they've been, where they want to go. That's kind of one thing you're going to talk about. Is that reasonable? Is that too much to ask, to just care enough to talk about people about what matters in their life? If they're going to send you $1,000 a day, isn't it worth caring a little bit? Don't you think?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Shouldn't we be
Yeah.
talking, right? And so there's that. And then of course, what else are we gonna be talking about? Well, see, if they're your referral and you're their sponsor, then the hope here, and it's not always the case, is that you know just a little bit more than what they know, right? About pool funding. Whereas they ask you something, good chance you might actually know the answer to it, at least in your own words. Fair enough? And
Fair
sometimes it's like this. Sometimes you get some rockets when they come in like referrals and they go, whoop, and they end up absorbing the information faster than their sponsor. I mean, it can still work, but at least you have something to talk about, right? And then if you ever get in a situation where you don't know the answer, you don't want to guess, right? So that's why sponsors have sponsors, and those sponsors have sponsors, and you can feed up the chain of sponsors to kind of find the answers. And last resort, you can come directly to me, and ask me directly, because I most likely will have all the answers when it comes to pool funding. Okay. So, but I can't do that for 1 million people all at one time, can I? So that's why there's kind of like a system here that we want to use. All right, so communication, and this is one of the commitments that we put people through on their first day. When they join pool funding, they're going to get access to a video. It's called Fast Start Training, and in that there's 3 commitments, and the third one is communication. So I'm giving you a little more of a deeper dive on that commitment, what I mean by that, and that yes, because I think a lot of times people have been involved in this program and that program. They've been involved in different stuff out there. And they got the impression with the other stuff that all they got to do is fill spots, right? Okay, that spot's filled. Okay, now I got to fill some more spots, fill those spots. And they feel like their job's complete just by filling spots. And no one really taught them the importance of communication. Talk to your people, be available, to your people so they can reach you, right? Introduce your people to, the sponsors above you, right? And you should do that just as like standard practice. As someone joins the team, that person should get like a Telegram group chat with the 5 sponsors above the sponsor, that brought them in, so that person feels like they've got at least a cheerleading squad, at the very least, but hopefully more than that. Hopefully something that they can rely on and depend on so that, you know, they can reach their goals and destination in pool funding, because everybody would like to have $1 million a year. Everybody would like to have that. But the truth is, not everybody's going to follow the training exactly as it is being put out there and succeed at getting $1 million a year. So can we assure every single person is going to follow the training? Absolutely not. You know, even if they show up, it doesn't mean that they listen very well or that they actually implement what they hear. Sometimes people come here, they get great information and it registered and it worked, you know, logically it fit into their brain. But then the call to action side of it, they miss that part. Like they come here, they listen, they learn, but then they do nothing about it, right? And see, that's poor communication too, because the whole point of training is to train you to do something, right? That's the whole point of it. But some people are just late bloomers too, and maybe they just hang around a while, they don't do much, and then one day they blossom. That happens too. So we got all kinds of people. Like I said, people are complicated. Okay. You're gonna have all kinds. And everybody's got their own little flavor. And we just have to love each other because of it, you know, not in spite of it, but because of it. Because that makes the world beautiful, that we're all different. All right, so there you go. I think you get the idea how important communication is. You want to arrive at the point of getting, 4 solid people that are going to send you $1,000 every day. Well, they got to be backed probably by people that are going to send them money every day, which could be backed by people that are going to send them money every day, backed by a pool, backed by a market, right? And it just all flows, right? Worst case scenario, you got 4 people that are backed by a pool. That's a little shaky, if you ask me, right? So you want to kind of build some depth to the, between you and the pool, right? A couple of layers of people sending people money up the chain. By the time you get into that $1,000 pool, you want it to be, a nice flow by the time it gets to you, so that it's consistent. And if it's not consistent, you're probably not going to cry too much, because even if it, like today, I was up $1,000. Yesterday, I was up $2,000. A couple days before that, I was up $3,000. And then tomorrow, I'm up $1,000. And then the day after that, $2,000. Even if it was kind of crazy, not consistent, we're still talking about up thousands of dollars every day, right? So there's that kind of potential, but it's a little bit of a, it's not as smooth as if you really spent the time communicating and all the proper preparation came into play before you and your team entering into the pool together in the $1,000 pool. I'm preparing you now for this because we're going to have that open in probably October, and the $100 pool is just around the corner, right? A couple weeks away. So I'm preparing you now to understand that if we communicate properly, then it'll be a smoother ride for everybody, right? The less we communicate, it makes it more bumpy and rocky for everyone. Okay, so I can't do it all, guys. You have your part to play. You come to training to learn your part, and it is a learn, do kind of training system. Okay, come here to learn something to do, and then go do it. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you all for tuning in to our training today. And I really do appreciate, we had like 50 people here today. Let's get a big yay! 50 people were here.
Yay!
Yeah, fantastic.
I can hardly wait till it's 500 people, but hey, 50 is good. It's on its way to 500. Anyway,
Yes.
so the live training is a lot of fun. I think the ones that get the most out of this are the ones that show up live. But for those of you that show up on YouTube and are checking us out on YouTube, we love and appreciate you too, and hope you're getting a lot out of it that way as well. And while you're on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. And we always love positive comments, guys. So there's 50 of you guys listening. I'd love to have 50 comments from those that came live. Go to YouTube, put a positive comment on here. But other people coming and seeing it later, they'll see your comments and they'll go, wow, this is a unified team that's working together. That's what we want to look like when people go to YouTube and check us out. Okay. Thank you all for coming. And we can all unmute now and say bye for now. See you
Bye
later.
for now.
So long. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great night.
Good night.
Hasta
Stay
la
blessed.
vista.